Students, in this video lecture, we will discuss about the female reproductive organ of the plant. So, we will see the structure and development of ovule and the female gametophyte in detail here in this video. So, we can see here the structure of a pistil, and we can see clearly that it is consisting of three main parts: style, stigma, and ovary. So, in another word, we can say that pistil is made up of style, stigma, and ovary. And we can see here that inside the ovary there is a structure which is called as ovule, and this ovule is attached with the ovary through a structure which is called as placenta. So we can see here that this is the ovule, and inside this ovule there is an egg, and after fertilization this egg forms the zygote, and as we know that zygote develops into the embryo and it forms the fully developed organism. So uh, we, when we talk about the fate of the structure such as ovary, ovule, and egg, then we can say that ovary finally develops into the fruit. As we can see here, it has been written that ovary develops into the fruit. Ovule, we can see the structure of ovule, and ovule, as I told, is present inside the ovary. Ovule develops into the seed, and zygote has been formed from the egg which is present inside the ovule, and it finally, after fertilization, forms the embryo. Now we'll see some facts, such as the first point has been written as the development of ovule or megasporangium is called megasporangiogenesis. So genesis, as I told before, genesis, it means the formation. So the development or the development and formation of the megasporangium is called megasporangiogenesis. And what is megasporangium? Megasporangium is nothing but this ovule. You can see the structure, the rough structure is there. So we'll see some details about the ovule or megasporangium. What is this? What is the function of the ovule? What is the, means how its structure is there. So we'll see some details about the ovule or megasporangium. So it born on the placenta in the ovary. So we have seen the placenta is there, which helps the attachment of these ovules on the inside the ovary. Have the parenchymatous body called nucellus. So the main tissue which is present inside the ovule is parenchyma cells, and the parenchyma cells which form the most of the body of the ovule is called nucellus. The third point is it is enclosed by two layers of sheath is called uh, nucellus. So we will see the structure also. So it is covered by two layers of sheath. Now the integument completely covers the nucellus, leaving on small opening at the at one end, which is called micropyle. So the ovule means the ovule is made up of parenchyma, mass of parenchyma cells, and this mass of parenchyma cell is covered by the two layers of structure, and there is a small opening where both of these layers are absent. So where the integument or the layers are absent will be called as micropyle. Now, it attaches on the placenta to a stalk which is called a funicle. So, it will be attached with the wall of ovary through placenta, and in between placenta and ovule there is a structure which is called a funicle. Now, the point of attachment of the body of the ovule to the funicle is called hilum. Now, the opposite side of the micropyle of the nucellus is called chalaza. So, we will see the structure in detail here. So we can see the structure of an ovule. So this is the main body of the ovule. So we can see here that this is the mass of cell or the main body of the ovule, and the main body of ovule is called nucellus. So we can see here nucellus has been written here, and it is covered by two layers. So these two layers are called integuments. Integuments are the general terms which is used in biology for the layers. So there are two layers which is covering this nucellus or the main part of the ovule, and we can see here there is a point where these two layers are absent. So where these two layers or integuments are absent is called micropyle. So we can see here this is a small opening. So this small opening will be called a micropyle. Now we can see here that this is the micropylori, and opposite to this micropylori there is a structure which is called as chalaza. Means uh, the chalaza is the structure which is present opposite to the micropyle. Now we can see this, the main body of the ovule is attached with this placenta, and this placenta is present over the wall of ovary. So this is the placenta, this structure, and in between placenta to the main body of the ovule, there is a stalk-like structure. This stalk-like structure is called funicle, as I told before. So this is the funicle, and at the base of the funicle there is the placenta. Now, this is the junction point of the funicle and the main body of the ovule, which is called as hilum. So we can see the hilum structure also, and uh, the main body is having the egg cell. So the egg cell we can see here. This one is the egg cell, and uh, the neighboring cells of the egg cells are called synergids. So we can see here two synergids are there, and in moreover in the middle there are secondary nucleus or polar nuclei, and towards the chalazal end there are three cells. We can see here three cells are there. These three cells are called antipodal cells. So this is the mass of nucellus. Inside the mass of nucellus there is a cell, and inside this cell there are towards the micropylori there are three cells. So out of these three cells, two cells are called synergids and one cell will be the egg. Means we can say the neighboring cells of the egg cell are called synergids. So the number of synergids are two and the number of egg cell is one. And here on the opposite side of the micropyle, the chalaza end is there. So towards the chalaza end, there are a total of three cells, which are which are called as antipodal cells. And here we can see there is a secondary nucleus or uh, polar nuclei, and this structure is called embryo sac. So this is the whole structure of the ovule where fertilization takes place, and after the fertilization this egg will develop into the embryo, and this structure means the ovule will develop into the seed. Now we'll see the types of ovules which have been classified on the basis of relative positions of micropyle and chalaza. So on the basis of the side and the relative position of the micropylori and chalaza end, which is present on opposite end, the ovules are mainly classified into three categories. The first one is called orthotopous ovule. So we can see here the in case of orthotopous ovule, so it is like the uh, it is the structure in which this this micropylori chalazal end and the embryo sac and the funicle is arranged in a linear straight-line position. But in case of anatropous position, what will happen? This chalazal end will be on upper side and the micropylar end will be on the lower side, and this funicle will be in parallel to these structures. So we can see here the anatropous structure will be like this, and the hemitropous structure can be in between these structures, orthotropous and anatropous. So in case of hemitropous, we can see that this one is a chalazal end, this one is the micropylar end, and at the right angle to these structures, the funicle is there. So these are three types of ovules we can see in different plants. Now we'll see the megasporangiogenesis. So as I told, what is the meaning of Genesis? Genesis means formation. When the megaspore will be formed, then the process will be called as megasporangiogenesis. So the development of megaspore within the ovule, it is obvious the megaspore or egg is present inside the uh, ovule only. So development of megaspore within the ovule and megasporangium from the megaspore mother cell. So what will happen? The megaspore mother cell is the main cell from where the megaspore will be formed. So a hypodermal cells of the nucellus at micropylar gene differentiates. So this is the main progenitor cell which develops into the megaspore. So hypodermal cells, as we have seen, the hypodermal cells in case of anther also were the progenitor cells. So hypodermal cells of the nucellus at the micropylar end differentiate. So uh, these, these, the- these, this progenitor cell will be present towards the micropylar, and after mitosis, it forms a special kind of cell which is called as archisporial cell. So archisporial cell we have also seen in case of anther. So the same kind of structure will also be formed there also in case of pistil also. So archisporial cells will be formed, and these archisporial cells will have some special structures, such as this this will have a conspicuous size, dense cytoplasm, and prominent nucleus. And after mitosis, the archisporial cells forms the megaspore mother cell. So by the name we can understand this is the mother cell of megaspore. So it will form the megaspore. So what happens? This megaspore will undergo meiosis, and as we know, when a cell undergoes meiosis, then it forms the core cell. So what will happen here? The megaspore mother cell will go through the meiosis and it forms four cells. And as we know, in case of meiosis, the the daughter cell becomes haploid. So the megaspore mother cell is the diploid structure, and it finally forms four haploid megaspores. And after that, what happens? Three of the haploid megaspores will be degenerated, and only one megaspore will be alive. So three degenerates and only one will be functional. So only one megaspore will be functional here, and mother this is the mother cell of female gametophyte or embryo sac. It means this megaspore cell will form the embryo sac. Now, as I told, that only one functional megaspore will be there, and what will happen here? Only nuclear division will happen. This is not the mitosis or meiosis. This is not the complete mitosis or meiosis, but it is one of the part of stage of the nuclear division of the mitosis. Here, cytokinesis will not take place. So nuclear division takes place. So what will happen? Inside the cell, two nucleus will be formed. Again, nuclear division takes place without cytokinesis. Then two nucleuses will form the fourth nucleus. After that, again, the nuclear division will take place, and a total of 8 nucleus will be formed. So we can see here, this is the special structure. We can see here, this 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 single cell is having 8 nuclei. Means this uh, this stage can be called as one cell stage and 8 nuclei stage. What will happen after that? Cell wall formation takes place only around 6 cells. So we have seen here a total of 8 nucleuses will be formed, and only 6 will have the cell wall. Means 2 will be 2 will 2 of the out of the 8 nucleuses, 2 nuclei will not have a proper wall. So how this structure will look like? So we can see here, this is a single cell, and inside the single cell 8 nuclei were there, 1 2 3 1, 2, 3, and 2. So around 6 cells, the wall formation will be taken place. So we can see here these three nucleuses will have a proper boundary, and these nucleuses have a proper boundary, and these two nucleuses will not have any boundary. So toward three cells with a boundary towards the chalazal end will be called as antipodal cells. And the three out of these three cells towards the micropylar end, one cell will be called as egg cell, and the neighboring two cells will be called as synergids. And we can see here the two left nuclei which are not having the proper wall or boundary will be called as polar nuclei or two free nuclei. So we can see here this is the proper embryo sac, and this kind of structure uh, is formed in around 81% of the plants which is undergoing flowering. So we have seen how this megasporogenesis takes place. So what happens? This hypodermal cell has formed of one functional megaspore. So this means formation of one functional megaspore from this single cell is called megasporogenesis. And we have seen after the formation of one functional megaspore, how the development of embryo sac or female gametophyte takes place. So overall, two kinds of stages have been taken place to form proper embryo sac with two polar nuclei, three antipodal cells, two synergids, and one egg cell.